My audience today is all parents and lawmakers. Should minors who commit crimes be locked up with adults? You may wonder why I care. I care because 2 years ago my 17-year-old son was arrested for statutory rape. He was locked up in county jail for 5 days with almost 30 adult sex offenders, where he was threatened with rape and daily terrified. He didn't eat, sleep, or use the restroom for 5 days. When we finally got him out and he came home, he slept beside our bed on a pallet in the floor for over a month, and he had nightmares for longer than that. My son was lucky. He came home with just a few mental wounds that he's learned to overcome, but it could have been worse. Over a century ago, the justice system was developed, the juvenile justice system, to prevent unspeakable atrocities to children in adult jails. Results of children being locked up in adult jails is that when they're let out into society, they are hardened criminals. I mean, a child looks for a role model, and if you put a child or an adolescent in jail with adult criminals, who are the role models going to be? It accentuates criminal behavior after the release, and it causes possible permanent mental damage. There are very few statistics to be found about children in adult jails, but what you can find is very alarming. The background of why there are so few statistics is because it's hidden. Suicides are listed as unspecified causes. Rapes are recorded as inmate assaults. Inaccurate reports are successfully masking the problem. Employees are given incentives to downplay or cover up reports of violence and rape and assaults in jails and in prisons, because if it's on record, then it could be used as evidence in a lawsuit. Suicide. The Office of Juvenile Justice and Delinquency Prevention Center reports that adolescents more quickly have a suicide rate of 7.7 times higher than when they're in an adult detention center than when they're in a juvenile detention center. Juveniles are abused more often and regularly. They're driven more quickly to desperation and therefore are more likely to harm themselves. Rape. Criminologists' prototype of prison rape victim is young, if not the youngest inmate within the given institutional system. Quote from a corrections officer from the California State Prison Penitentiary says, a young inmate's chances of not getting raped are almost zero. He will get raped within the first 48 hours. Quote from assaults and victimization. 1 in 10 juveniles report being attacked in adult detention centers. 50% are more likely to report being assaulted with a weapon. Juveniles are not mature adults. Emerging science about the brain development that most people don't fully mature by the time they're 18. But instead, a growing body of science says that critical parts of the brain involved in decision making are not fully developed until the age of 25. In 2005, a Supreme Court banned the death penalty for juvenile offenders because people under 18 are immature, irresponsible, susceptible to peer pressure, and often capable of change. David Berger, a deputy district attorney for the County of Los Angeles, California, was quoted as saying, "Children who commit serious crimes still have the ability to change their lives." An article in the New York Times reads, "If rehabilitation is the goal for teenagers who are tried and sentenced as adults, then prison and adult detention centers are not the answer." You may think that you will never have to worry about this. So did I. Help protect our children. Write a letter to your elected officials. Make them change the laws.